So hello everyone. This is the cover letter aspect. Like I did said in the resume video slide that I did record, I would be uploading a separate section on the cover letter because during the workshop we did talked about the two aspects separately. During the session, I did ask, it would have been something that I would have asked you to explain what you think a cover letter is, and then we'll go over and make it a bit interactive. However, since this is just a recording, I will just be telling you what a cover letter is. So a cover letter is just simply like an elevator pitch. It's more or less, I would say, an extension of your resume because it will give you ability to explain those skills, those work-related things you've learned, and sometimes even your educational qualifications. Because remember, your resume may not give you all the time to provide detailed explanation why you think you're a suitable candidate. So the cover letter will give you an opportunity to highlight those things that you wanted the potential employer to know. And for those who are either starting afresh, this might be an opportunity for you to also explain that even though you just graduated and you're looking for a job for the first time, however, these are the skills that you think could make you a best candidate for that position. And likewise, if you are also out of the job market for a long time, maybe you just decided to either resign or quit, this will be an opportunity for you to use to explain the reason why there is a gap. Perhaps it could be due to medical reasons, or you just decided to, okay, leave your job and go back to school. So when you are applying for the next job, it will be an opportunity for you to explain why there is a gap in your resume. So we did talk about parts of a cover letter. Just remember, cover letter is just like any official letter. So it does have a header where it has your own address and then the address of the employer. The salutation, that's addressing whoever is the hiring manager or whoever is the topmost ranking officer in the organization. And then the actual body of the letter consists of three parts: the introductory part, the body paragraph, and then the closing paragraph. In the introductory part, that's where you would make reference to the job that you're applying for and also indicate your interest and your passion for applying for that post and tell them a little bit of the things why you think you are the best candidate. The second paragraph will allow you to highlight most of the things that will make you a best and suitable candidate for that in a much broader sense. You could use that to align some of your accomplishments, some of your skills, some of your work experience, or maybe your educational um, qualifications to tie them to what you think could be able to prove that you're the best candidate for that position. And then the last paragraph will be like your closing paragraph, in which you will re-emphasize some of the things you did mention in the first two paragraphs, and then also use it to thank the employers for reviewing your application and to also indicate that you're expecting to hear a response from them. And the last aspect is just the signature. Maybe, for some applications, the signature may not necessarily be required. For some, it might just be an e-signature, especially if it's an e-form, because nowadays there are certain cover letters that are not actually like an actual letter. It's just maybe an electronic form that has questions like question one: why do you think you are the best applicant for this position? Question two: how do you think maybe your skills or your professional expertise could be maybe or support that role? And then three, all sorts of questions. And then afterwards, you would see a column saying either click to agree or maybe do an electronic signature just to sign that it's actually whatever information you provided is to your best ability, the truth. So some cover letters may be in a form of e-form, like I said, but unless otherwise, then you know you're drafting a formal letter. So other things that we did talked about were some of the things that are important for you to know, which one includes a contact information, because remember you wanted them to reach out to you, especially once you get the job. They or if they would be inviting you maybe for the next step in the application process, say for example for an interview. So your contact information would be what they would use to reach out to you to inform you about their decision. And then the recipient's information that would differentiate any other application. It will tell that okay, yeah, this exact information, this exact letter is to us, based on maybe perhaps the application that we did send out. And then always, 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 like I said during even the resume session, make sure whatever information you have on your cover letter is relevant to that particular job announcement, because it may not be wise you're applying for a position and then you're bringing irrelevant information. People who are reviewing your application might just think you're just wasting their time, and then they will just decide not to go, move forward with that. And another thing for you to understand is the job title or any information related to that job. The reason why this is important is because sometimes you will find an organization looking for maybe five different applications to fill different positions. So that job title will make it different from the other four job positions that they are looking for applicants to fill. Whenever you have that, whoever is reviewing the applications will know, okay, this is maybe an application for X position, or maybe this is an application for a Y position, and then that will help them in categorizing that. So during the workshop, we also talked about some of the things that you could consider to make your cover letter better. One, addressing the hiring manager, possibly if by name. Say, for example, the hiring manager is maybe call. Say, for example, I'm just using an example, like I said, um, Smith Tyler. You can say, hey, Mr. Tyler, oh, sorry, you can say, dear Mr. Tyler, or if the name is not there, you can just start it by writing like either the hiring manager or the manager, the CEO, the chairperson, whoever is on the topmost rank in that organization. And then your opening statement, which is in your first introductory paragraph, should be something that will really be interesting, because that first sentence, it's just like your first impression. You would want to make a good impression. You would want to attract them. You would want to, show them that you're really interested, you're really passionate in applying for that job. And one of the ways to make that first statement interesting is by demonstrating how passionate you are or how interested you are in applying for that job. And through your writing, make sure whatever words you're selecting are creative and demonstrate how confident and how interested you are in working for that organization. Use the cover letter to talk about your experience. However, always find a way of tying those experiences and skills to some of the things that you think could benefit the employer, because those are some of the things they will be looking out for. They will be interested in seeing how you can use your skills and your experience to contribute to their own organization once they hire you. And one of the ways you can even do that is by demonstrating that you have done some research on them. Check and see some of the things that they did in the past. See how you can either improve some of those things, or see how you can contribute to some of those projects that they've done either in the past or the ones that they are currently doing. uh, you could explain that, okay, based on the things that you did or you are doing, I have skills in those areas that I think could be supportive or maybe could complement some of the things that you're doing. And in your application, you can also use measurable accomplishments, something like, okay, while I was working in my current position, I was able to help my organization achieve maybe XYZ percentage of, ABC job. So by quantifying that, they will be able to see that, okay, yes, there is drastic maybe increase in the things that you've done. And that could be maybe some of the things that you could say, okay, and based on that success, you think you would be able to contribute towards their own organization, and to also make whatever activity or assignment or work that they would task you in the future, you would be able to succeed. So this is just an example of a measurable accomplishment. However, just remember you're writing a letter, so you will not be required to either write a chat or something, but it's just an example to just show, how you can maybe indicate some of those things. Perhaps, you can say while you're working during your previous job or your current job. These are social media marketing, graphic design, and copywriting are some of the things that you did work on, and during that time, you were able to help that current organization to achieve those certain percentages. So, always find a way of explaining how those accomplishments, like I said earlier, can benefit the organization, because even though everyone knows that you applying or you moving from one position to another, it's your own opportunity to grow. However, they also need to see what they can benefit out of that, what is in it for them. So try and see how you can interpret some of those accomplishments of your current or maybe past positions can benefit them. And at every step of your application, always show how excited you are, how interested you are in working for them, because that, alone will really tell a lot. Say, for example, you just saw an advert for a position of maybe a business analyst, and then you just use the tone, hey, I just see this application in a newspaper, and I think I'm, an appropriate candidate for this, could you consider me? The tone might be different from if you use hello, I am really passionate, or I'm really interested, or I'm really excited in applying for the position of a business analyst at your company, and then you go over. The professional level in which you even demonstrate those things might really tell. So always be professional, show excitement, show your interest in that organization. And then, always find a way of thanking them for reviewing your application, even though they are the ones who are looking for people to fill that position. But remember, they will put in time, and perhaps you will be competing with tens, thousands, or even, more applicants for the same job. So, them having that, time, dedicating that time to review your application is worth commending, and it will tell them that, okay, this person is really responsible, he or she values other people's time, so that might give a good impression, about your application. And then always show that you're expecting to hear from them, even though, not all the time, uh, especially if they have tons of application, you may or may not hear from them, but at least, let them know that you're expecting. And then sign up in a formal manner. Remember, this is, like I said, a formal letter, unless if you are using an electronic form. Find a way of using phrases that are more formal to sign off, and then write your full name so that they will know that it's you who is writing that letter. And we did go over some of the things that are important. One is editing, proofread, read again. Sometimes you may not spot things on the first read, so read it a second time. Or you can even seek maybe the help of somebody, a second person or a third person, to help you edit and read. Like the example I once gave, say for example, you want to use the word here, Here, but you use HEAR. Because both words are all spelled correctly, you may not have that red line saying that there is an error. But if somebody helps you read, he or she will be able to pinpoint that I think you wanted to say HERE, but you put HEAR. So you can always give somebody to have a look. And then use job specific phrases. Look at how they frame the job advert and see how you can borrow some of those phrases in your cover letter. And or if they don't have any of that, you can look at how professionals in your field use those phrases to convey some of the things that they wanted to explain. And I can also emphasize the importance of using what's relevant, only what's relevant. Say, for example, you're applying for maybe the position of maybe an accountant. However, you do have some skills in maintenance. Definitely your accounting skills and your maintenance skills are two different things. So you wouldn't want to put the maintenance aspect in your cover letter, unless if maybe that accounting position that you are applying for is in a maintenance firm or a maintenance company. Then it might be worth mentioning that, okay, my skills in accounting, my skills in maintenance is in an accounting maybe setting or something like that. Or more, sorry, rather my skills in accounting is in a maintenance setting, just to kind of make that connection. And do not go beyond one page. Remember, like I keep saying, it's an official letter. The exceptions might be perhaps maybe if you're filling an e-form with several questions, like question one, why do you think that? Question two, that, or if in the advert of the job they wanted you to highlight maybe your strength in, say for example, your work experience, and then some of the things that you think are a strength in your skills, and then perhaps maybe your educational qualification. Then use subheadings to explain those. Perhaps maybe with that it might go a little bit beyond a page. Otherwise, try and summarize everything in one page. And then there are lots of templates that you can consider. Some of them you can get freely. And for those who attended the workshop, you all have my email, so I will be sending you the links. Okay, this we will skip this because if we were in the class, we would have drafted that. However, since we're not drafting that cover letters, which I said if we were in a class setting and during the workshop, we would have drafted maybe a cover letter, and I will go through it and provide feedback and edits. However, this is my email. You can reach out to me if you have a draft, send it to me, and I'll be happy to go through it and give you feedback. Thank you once again.